Now, what blocks me from being the enlightened frequency of the way of responsibility? And that is my avoidance, in this particular example, my avoidance and my procrastination programs. I avoid. And what's really going on is I'm afraid to share myself with the world because I'm afraid to be judged. I'm afraid to not be liked. I'm afraid to be rejected. And that causes me to run on the surface level, on the behavioral level, all of these programs where I just want to not do what I know I need to be doing. "20 days away from Lionsgate, and we are starting this 20-day activation series at MSU. Come join us, get involved, follow along. The 20 days leading up to Lionsgate, we are going to be working through by energetically activating each individual way of oneness. So there's 20 of them, there's 20 days to Lionsgate. You guessed it, one every day. So what is the first day, the first way? Way of responsibility. Now, if you don't know what these ways of oneness are, I'd recommend you grabbing a copy of Mason's Way. This is Rachel's book. We are going to be flowing through each and every way of oneness. You can go on our student portal to access free activations in beautiful, high quality, high definition audio. So today I activated the way of responsibility. And my devotion to myself as the way of responsibility, one of the things that I'm working on is actually doing this very thing, is committing myself to posting regularly. Why? Well, as the way of responsibility, it's my duty to bring this work to the world. Rachel has spent all of her life creating and teaching, and I've spent the last 5 years learning from her, so why not be the way of responsibility and actually come online and share this work to the world. Now, what blocks me from being the enlightened frequency of the way of responsibility? And that is my avoidance, in this particular example, my avoidance and my procrastination programs. I avoid. There's still a part of me that is afraid. These are the deeper programs, right? The behavioral program is I avoid, I procrastinate. And what's really going on is I'm afraid to share myself with the world because I'm afraid to be judged. I'm afraid to not be liked. I'm afraid to be rejected. And that causes me to run on the surface level, on the behavioral level, all of these programs where I just want to not do what I know I need to be doing, right? Which is posting online, sharing this work, speaking from my heart. A lot of the time when I sit down and I try and do this, I hit resistance, I hit blocks. And I know I've done a lot of work around this. It's that I could feel that part of me tugging me, being like, no, we want to stay hidden, stay small. And I feel like this is a lot of people in the world. We avoid actually expressing ourselves in a true, authentic way because we're afraid of the clapback, we're afraid of what we're going to receive, we're afraid of the judgment, we're afraid of the comment section. And in stupid new age spiritualism, they'll tell you, oh, just love and light, positive vibes only. And that's like, you're just dismissing your actual true feelings. And what I found is true power is being able to see those comments instead of disregarding it or dismissing it and shoving that part of me away into a dark corner and hiding myself from the fear that's in there, is actually going to a coach or doing the work on myself to work through what's actually going on. So part of what I've learned from Rachel is the way of responsibility is just healing yourself. And this is what I've seen in my life, especially when it comes to sharing on, social media, YouTube, whatever, on here. I can do all of the behaviors of trying to force myself to sit down and press record. I can force myself to not procrastinate and not avoid. But if I'm not actually going in and healing what's actually blocking me, that pattern is always normally going to come back. And I've seen this in myself. It comes back. Why does it come back? Because I've not actually healed anything by forcing myself just to do a behavior, right? And that doesn't mean sometimes we do need to do that. Sometimes we do just need to force ourselves to do something to just get the job done. But to live there is not the enlightened way of responsibility, right? What I've learned is once I've healed a lot of the parts of me that are keeping me in that small, hiding, contracted energy state, and I actually learn to go in and love that part of me that is afraid to be rejected, that doesn't feel loved, that doesn't feel accepted, and I can actually infuse and remember that my divinity in real time, when these parts are coming up and being activated, I can teach that part of me to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually mature. And ultimately, that's what we all can do to live in a more harmonious world. If we just heal and mentally, emotionally, and spiritually mature, we don't have to act like scared kids anymore. We don't have to act like the procrastinating teenager, which I've had to work a lot on and probably still will work a lot on. We don't have to show up those ways. We can show up as a mature, divine adult. And that's what I want to do. So that's why I'm working on becoming the way of responsibility, and I'm going to devote and commit myself to these next 20 days of posting at least one of these YouTube videos, and getting on our community Discord channel and getting on there and being active and posting about each and every way. So my invitation for you is to do the same. So reflect inside your own self. This is what the whole challenge is about. Reflect inside yourself. Where do I lack this way of oneness? So day one, way of responsibility. Where do I lack a divine level of responsibility? Where am I not actually stepping into my responsible, accountable, mature divine self? And where do I need to grow? Where do I need to expand? And what do I need to become? And then we have all the free activations in the portal. You can go in and listen to Rachel and activate what it feels like to become this way of oneness, and do this every day. We would love to see if you could go into our community Discord and post what you're working on, your realizations, your updates, as we move through this next 20-day stretch. And why is this important? Because Lionsgate 8/8 is one of the most energetically potent days of the entire year. So everyone at MSU is doing our best to energetically prime ourselves to get ready for that big kind of impactful day for kind of the rest of the year. I know it has a very big impact. So we're going to be doing a free workshop on 8/8 itself, led by Rachel, myself, and Ellie as well. If you want to come to that, there'll be a link in the description. We'd love for you to come join. It's going to be completely free, and we would love for you to get involved in this free 20-day, 20-way activation. Hey, maybe even you feel called to do the same thing and post about these ways of oneness on your social media. If that's you as well, if you feel called to share about your personal healing, growth, and ascension journey following this 20-day, 20-way blueprint, go for it. I'd love to see it. And if you do, feel free to tag me in the comments. So I'll see you tomorrow for the way of patience, and let's become. Let's learn what Rachel's here to teach and become what the ways of oneness are. See you in the next one. Bye.